Welcome to Above Par. I'm your host, Kathy Hartwood. I show you how to take more of your talent to the golf course without practicing harder, taking more lessons, or buying new equipment. I show you how to end the frustration of underperforming so you can start playing to your potential. This is where you are going to learn how to think above par so you can play below par. Let's get to it. Hello, my golf friend. Welcome back to Think Above Par. I hope you're amazing. So today I want to talk about something that messes with a lot of golfers, and honestly, not just golfers, humans, really. You're playing against people who are better than you or that you think are better than you. You get paired with them, you see their swings, you hear what they shoot, you've got a story about them. They might be the talk of the club. And suddenly your brain goes, uh-oh, I got no shot. I can't win. Or I don't belong here. Right? Does that sound familiar? Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So here's what happens. And actually, it could happen for a bunch of different scenarios. You might see who's playing in the event or the tournament. You might know them already. You might look at their swing on the range. And you might start telling yourself that you don't have a shot to win the tournament. You could be a higher handicap and you're playing with some people who are single digits. And you already have the story that you can't win. Or you think you can't win. Now, for the most part, I'm talking about events that don't have a handicap, but sometimes you're playing in an event that is a net event, and this scenario might apply to people who have handicaps that, let's just say, are not legit. That you know them playing with that handicap that they're likely going to win, and you already have the story that you can't win. So it could be that the player is better than you. You might have the story that they're longer than you, they're more consistent, they've won more tournaments, or they have a padded handicap. And just like that, your brain will start shifting from I'm here to play this game and have a good time to I can't win. I got no shot. And I want you to pause and really ask yourself, because there are two different things that you want to check in with. It's either true, most likely, my dad would say anybody can beat anybody on any given day, but let's just say you're a 30 handicap and there's a 2 handicap in the field and it's a gross event. Right? The chances of you actually winning that event are not very high. I get that. So it's either true, and there's a lot of fact behind it, or it's a story or a feeling. And I want to talk about how you go into each one and shift your mindset so you're making the most or getting the most out of that round so that you can walk off 18 feeling proud of the way that you showed up. So if you go into the event, and it's true, there are some players in there who are going to likely score lower than you, given the format and given their handicap or their scoring average and yours, that it is most likely. It could also be true, possibly, that someone just has a whacked out handicap and it might not seem fair and you feel defeated already. And that is the feeling either way, is that you feel defeated. Right? I can't win. I got no shot. And I think the thing that gets in the way there, when you go out and play defeated, or if you're going out to look for opportunities or chances or situations where you're going to have evidence that you're not going to win or that someone else is going to play better than you, you're going to find them. Your experience is not going to be that great on the golf course. Playing golf from defeated is not a great place to play golf from. I know, I've done it a lot. Right? So is the objective, this is the question, to win? What is the objective of you going out there? How many times do you go out and play in a tournament and actually win? And how do you win? I mean, you don't want to go out there and Tanya Harding anybody, right? So that you can win. Is that what it's about? So a little bit of it is, what's the objective? In those scenarios, it's worthwhile to shift into a different intention. When your focus is on winning, which is something that you cannot control, one of the things that you cannot control is what other people shoot. So then what's your intention of going out there and playing? And the way to win a tournament, if that's going to happen, is for you to show up your best. It is for you to go through all of your processes that allow you to access your talent out on the golf course. It's to hit as many shots from calm, certain, and confident as possible. It is not to play golf from a defeated state. It is not to play golf from salty or ornery. Because Betty has a padded handicap. Or Susan signed up and she's a scratch golfer and you're a 20 handicap and it's a gross event, the club championship, right? Which is
A great example of where this shows up a lot. There might be just a couple of players who are really lower handicaps in club championships. And what happens is a lot of people don't show up. Why should I go out there and play? I can't win. Why should you go out there and play? To put yourself in a scenario where you have to manage your mind and guide your mind, to practice and rehearse your process, to go through and become a better version of yourself by hitting as many shots from calm, certain, or confident, to challenge yourself in a tournament and witness your brain showing you all the reasons why you can't win, because it'll find them. So are you the person who doesn't play in the club championship because Betty wins every year? Because Betty has a lower handicap by 10 shots than the next person in the club, or Bob, right? Are you defeated already? And because you're defeated, why show up? So my point is that some of that could be true. It might be really challenging for you to actually win, but is the objective to win every round that you play, every tournament that you're in? If that was the case, think about all the tour players who win over and over and over and over and over again. It's like a different person every week. Right? How do they do that? Granted, yes, do they want to win? For sure. There's so many factors that come into play. So many things that are not in their control. All we can do is go about and put ourselves out there by getting ourselves into the best emotional state that we possibly can so that we can access our talent over as many shots as possible. Make that your intention, not winning. And the more you make that intention, the more of your game is going to show up. Playing from defeated or any negative emotion because you're already saying, I can't win, why should I play? Or being salty because of somebody else that's in the field is not going to serve you. It's not going to serve your future self in the next event that you play in. The second scenario is that it's just a story or a feeling that you have. You're comparing yourself to other people. Maybe there's nothing that's really based in a lot of fact. You just feel like you shouldn't be able to win. You feel like this other person is so much better than you because they hit it further, or they walk around with more confidence, or they putt better than you. And you're already feeling defeated. But more impactfully, if that's a word, you're feeling less than because you're comparing yourself to someone else. And what can happen in both of these scenarios is that you will go to the first tee and you have already set yourself up to not perform your best because of how you're perceiving the field, the people in the tournament, the people in the event, and you're comparing yourself to them. But when you start saying that someone's better than me, and it might not be true, and I know a lot of 14 handicaps who will say, oh, she's so much better than me because she's a 12 handicap. Oh my gosh, that's nothing. In the game of golf, that's nothing. But then you create this story that she's better than me. She's a 12 handicap and she hits it further than me. And she walks around way more confident because of those 2 shots on her handicap or him. Right? And you instantly minimize yourself and you don't show up able to access your talent. So then what's going to happen? It's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're going to go, see, she beat me, but she beat you before you even teed off, or he beat you before you even teed off. So how many times do you go play in an event or sign up for an event and think, once you see the field or who's in it, I got no shot of winning, and you already feel defeated, like you don't want to play. Why am I even showing up? Or you don't sign up for an event because you already know who's going to be in the field. Why bother? I can't win. And the question is, why bother? Are you only playing in events to win them? And then what happens when you don't? How disappointed are you? Think about every single tour player who doesn't win that event that week. I mean, the percentage is so small. You can be very successful and have lots of gains and wins individually on the golf course for you without getting the trophy. If it's all about the trophy, you're going to spend most of your time very disappointed in your results. So how can you sign up for an event? This is the question to ask yourself, where it becomes a win. It becomes a way for you to grow, stretch into things that make you uncomfortable, guide your brain around scenarios that normally you would feel very defeated, put yourself and set yourself up for the first tee for you showing up in a place where you can swing freely and think clearly and be really proud of the way that you attended that event and played. Doesn't even matter if you swung well, but just the way that you showed up. You know what? I didn't let this Betty bother me. I didn't let Bob bother me. I didn't let the handicap bother me. Because whenever that happens, you're at the effect of those people. Your job is to be in charge of you and guide you and witness where your brain goes when you start seeing who's playing in the event, or you start seeing the swings on the range, or you witness someone who just is walking a little taller and more proud and confident than you are, and what you do and where your brain goes. All right, my friend? So first, ask yourself if it's true, and what do you want to think about it? And then if it's not true, if it's a story or a feeling, how are you going to shift that? Right? Show up for those tournaments, regardless who else is signed up. The point isn't to win every tournament. The point is to manage yourself while you're out there and hit as many shots as you can from CCC. And if you do that, that's a huge win. All right, my friends, and join me inside Your Mental Caddy at yourmentalcaddy.com so we can carry on this conversation. And I'll talk to you next Wednesday.